Immigrant Song by Avan Jogia. My grandfather's hands are strong. They work tirelessly, fixing your watches. My grandfather's hands are strong. His immigrant hands will always be fixing your watches. He sits repairing your time, past or present, short or long. My grandfather's fingers are strong, and they'll always be fixing your watches. He moves forward the arms of time with his rusty bags of tools and scrapes away all the grime, polishing your metal anew. Your movement is broken, he says. That's why your clock won't tick true. My grandfather fixes your watches, but he doesn't do it for you. Miss Universe, also by Avan Jogia. She is more than just her body, she says, but she is also her body, she says. She's from Brooklyn, she says, with her brown skin, with her loose afro. She's a soul surfer with a lip piercing. She's from Vancouver, she says, with her bright green mermaid hair and her lily white skin and tattooed third eye and pet crow. She's from Los Angeles, she says, with her top knot, with her sunglasses, with her Prius and her organic diet. She's from Montreal, she says, with her French words and her long eyelashes and her winter coat and her little red leather gloves. She's from San Francisco, she says, with her book bag and her beautiful body hair, with her black bob and her single-speed bike. These are all the scene things that she is, she says. But she's also the wind, she says, with her gentle breeze and her changing weather, and her storms at times, and sometimes no wind at all. She is the sea, she says, with her endless depths and her blue-green skin and her crashing waves at times, and sometimes her quiet stillness. She is the universe, she says, with her cosmic consciousness, with her lack of a physical body, and her ancient mind and her youth. She is more than what is seen, she says. She is so much more. This is one of my favorite poems of all times. I read it whenever I need a little bit of comfort. It's Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. And then Sunrise by Mary Oliver. You can die for it, an idea or the world. People have done so brilliantly, letting their small bodies be bound to the stake, creating an unforgettable fury of light. But this morning, climbing the familiar hills and the familiar fabric of dawn, I thought of China and India and Europe, and I thought how the sun blazes for everyone just so joyfully as it rises under the lashes of my own eyes, and I thought, I am so many. What is my name? What is the name of the deep breath I would take over and over for all of us? Call it whatever you want. It is happiness. It is another one of the ways to enter fire. I've been reading this book over and over during quarantine and listening to the author read her poems aloud on Instagram live stream, so I had a hard time narrowing this down. I ended up picking 3. Backpedal by Olivia Gatwood. The boys and I are playing quarters with double shots of vodka, and I am winning. By winning, I mean I am not one of the boys, but I am the next best thing. By the next best thing, I mean I am a girl and I am drunk. Every time I miss a shot, Johnny gets to flick a quarter against my knuckles, and now my knuckles are bleeding onto my thighs, but every time I make a shot, I get to knock back a throatful of liquor. I slam down the glass until it cracks up the side. Now the game is about who will still drink from it, who will risk shards in the belly, who will cut up their insides for a pack of Newports. And it's not that I even want the cigarettes, it's just that I am not afraid of blood, which is also part of being a girl. But being the only girl means making yourself lose when you've won too much, so I bounce the coin off the rim of the shot glass and let Johnny slice me open. In 30 minutes, Johnny is dragging me out of the bathroom by my wrists, and I can hear him saying something about blood on the carpet, about a drunk girl in the house who is staining everything, and I think that means I must be the champion of quarters. Johnny is the kind of guy who sleeps with a gun, not women. But Johnny is always the one inviting me over for a game of quarters, and sometimes I wonder if this is how Johnny fucks. Like maybe he is the kind of man who only screams when he is underwater or lets me feel how strong his fingers are without actually touching me. Maybe that's why we're all here, even the boys, to let Johnny hold us like a barred window. I work a double 1 day a week, and on this day, don't answer Johnny's call. By 1 day a week, I mean 2 men break in and shoot Johnny in the temple for 2,000 pills, and I am scraping pasta from a businessman's plate into the trash. At some point, I'll tell you why I didn't go to the wake. I guess I never really knew Johnny like that. By that, I mean sober and at church. When I say I didn't go to the wake, I mean I drove by his house every day for 2 years and the for sale sign never got taken down. Like the house would always be Johnny's. Like maybe the whole town knew what happened there. Like maybe no one could get rid of the blood. And say it, I'm always in love. They all do when I scramble into dinner unforgivably late with too many bags, rambling about some new lover and the way they listen better than the last. Say it, you don't believe me this time because last time I lost 6 months mourning our demise, chain smoking on a rooftop next to the airport where every 4 minutes a plane would tear its belly across the sky until a new love came along, danced with me in a parking lot, and made sure I drank water. Yes, I thought that one would stay until my birthday, and no, they didn't. Yes, I was alone by winter, practicing some familiar grief, my old heart's sacrament. Okay, another rolled around by spring, gone by the next fall. Of course I know the pattern. You teach me nothing when you say it, but say it. I'm always either in love or heartbroken. Say it, I should be alone more often, I'll admit. Sometimes I don't trust the way I worship, okay? Sometimes I forget who's who. I know. How many gods can a girl have? Who will she go home to when she dies? And finally, by Olivia Gatwood, all of the missing girls are hanging out without us. Let this be the folklore, not in a field, not in a river, not mouth half open, knock-kneed under the tall grass behind the baseball field, not in a park or at the bottom of a drained pond, not in their boyfriend's trunks, their boyfriend's closets, or between the floorboards in his house. They are alive, but not in a basement, not scanning a grocery store bulletin board for a picture of their young and gone face. No, the girls are having a contest. Who can catch the most tiniola moths in a mason jar? Who can sprint back to the barnyard fastest to set it on the kitchen windowsill during the golden hour, the amber light and its brief devour? The only prize is that the winner gets to see it first. A horde, chestnut-colored and coated in honey, slapping against the glass walls and tin roof, unbroken by the human hand. All of the girls will flock around it, a mob of soft and angry, a lantern alive, kaleidoscope of wings. For a moment they are all in the same place, until dark, when the girls have lost interest and gone to sleep beneath each other's warm pits and legs, at which point the oldest girl will carry the jar out onto the porch and unscrew its lid, let the gentle bodies spill out like wedding doves, frantic and blooming into night.